Good morning, everybody. Mike from the last Corvette. Even though the Corvette is gone, but I'm working on it, guys. I'm definitely working on it. That's not even an issue. Looking at C7 Corvettes as we speak. From now until spring, hopefully in the off season there during the winter, I'll find one that makes sense for me through one of the auctions that I normally deal with. But this video here goes back to the update video, and today we're going to talk about the Ford F-150 that I purchased, and then kind of, the story behind how I ended up with the F-150, and also how I almost purchased a Ram. But there's a story to that too, why I backed out. So let's kind of just start from the start. I had a 2021 Chevy Silverado All-Star 4x4 crew cab. Purchased that truck, kept it for 3.5 years, and I had to get rid of it because it started to consume or burn oil. I was doing all the oil changes, as I stated many times, on time, every 5,000 miles or so. And, I also made videos about that. The funny thing about it is last night, so Friday, I went over my friend's house, and he has a 2022 Chevy Silverado with the same 2.7 Turbo Max, and he's right around 30,000 miles. That's where I started to notice issues. We didn't even bring up the subject, and he said, listen, I was just doing my oil change, and that thing was like 4 quarts, almost 4 quarts low. And I'm like, well, let me tell you a story about mine, right? So there's definitely an issue with these 2.7 Turbo Maxes. I think in one of my videos I stated that if you're just going to lease it, because most of the good lease deals, even on some of the trail bosses actually, they come with the 2.7 Turbo Max on Silverado Sierras. Now they're putting them also in smaller trucks like the Colorados and the GMC Canyons. That makes a little bit more sense, right? Lighter truck, smaller truck, and 2.7 does make decent power and torque. But the issue lies in this oil consumption, and you guys can comment below on this particular topic. If you have one, let me know if it's just me and my friend, or it's a common thing once you start climbing up to 30,000. And I remember somebody asked me, well, why don't you just take it to the dealership, have it fixed? And yes, the truck was under full warranty, right? But that means that, I don't know, another 20,000 miles later, I would have the same issue, more than likely, because there's not a recall. There's really no, issues as far as coming from GM about these 2.7 Turbo Maxes. But definitely either a design flaw, a part flaw, or something like that along those lines. So I got rid of that, started driving the Chevy Equinox that I purchased at auction. Drove that for a couple of months, made videos on that as well. Got rid of that, sold that, and then started driving the C6 Corvette that I also sold later on. Drove it for, same thing, 2+ months, put thousands of miles on it, enjoyed the heck out of the C6. It was my first time in a long time actually like driving it and putting miles on it. And then in the meantime, I was looking for a truck. So, Ram, GM, Ford. Now, when it comes to Ford, personally, I haven't had a Ford pickup truck in about 10+ years. The last one was a F-150, obviously a much older gen. And then prior to that, I did have a F-250 Super Duty as well for a few years when I used to tow a lot of trailers. And then it's been just basically Rams and Silverados in between. So I did look at brand new Rams. I'm not going to lie. They have some really good deals. Most of the deals are, 3.6 V6. If you look at the Hurricanes, they're more money. But the Hurricane is really unproven engine. It's something I don't want to just dive into, specifically if you're going to buy the truck. So started looking, and of course F-150 kind of popped up because I have a 2024 Ford Expedition. Essentially it's pretty much the same thing, right? And I know how that thing drives, the power, and it's an amazing SUV, full-size SUV. But I did come across a smoking freaking deal, and this is why you have to kind of be cautious when you deal with dealerships, big or small. This was a 2023 Dodge Ram. This was a Bighorn / Lone Star / off-road package. You don't see too many off-road packages on these Rams. You see sports, you see, obviously limiteds or whatever. This off-road package essentially is like a stripped-down version of a Rebel. Okay, so it has the skid plates, it has upgraded shocks. It does sit 1 inch higher or taller than a normal Bighorn, just like the Rebel. Tow hooks, locking rear diff, cool little things, right? This was a nicely equipped pickup truck, you know, black and chrome 20-inch wheels, all that stuff. How I found it, I was on Google, like I was pretty much every, week, couple times a week looking for trucks. And this particular truck was about 40 minutes north from where I live here in Metro Detroit. And it was for sale, get this, 2023. It's a 2-year lease, so somebody traded that truck in and got something else a little bit early, but it had like 20,000 or just under 20,000 miles. And I looked at the Carfax because it was provided by the dealership, and you can see from the purchase date, at all the services, all the oil changes were done on time. That's one of the things that I always preach about, purchasing a leased vehicle, prior lease. If people don't maintain it, or if people go over the miles, and some assholes still will roll miles back. So you could be, getting a 30,000 mile truck, but essentially it has 130,000 miles with very little service. But this truck, every 5,000 miles or so, boom, 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 all the oil changes were done at the same dealership where it was originally purchased. I felt very confident. So I called, spoke to a sales guy. I said, listen, I'm very interested in this truck. $32,500 for a 23 off-road, full warranty, everything, right? Amazing deal. It was basically like almost $6,000 under the market value. And I thought it was a shock. It's almost like a wholesale price. So when I called, he said, yeah, it's still here. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it, and basically have it sitting in your driveway. I'm like, cool, I'll take a huge, savings and get, buy this truck. So he said, I'm busy today. I'm going to, basically text you full walk around video, inside, outside, because I did ask him, like, hey, just, point out if there's any scratches, blemishes, whatever. It's a used truck, but at least I know, what I'm buying, right? Because I was just going to have them deliver it to my house instead of driving back and forth, right? Because that's the first thing they ask, is they want you to come out and look at it, because I don't have time. So anyway, the next day I get the videos, I get the pictures, the truck looks great. I mean, 20,000 miles on it. It looks new, right? And it still has the 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper to bumper, has a 6-year, 60,000 powertrain warranty. And on top of it, since it's certified, it also came with basically 1 more year. So essentially you get 7 years or 100,000 miles when it comes to the powertrain. A lot of people get it confused. It does not restart. It still starts from the day that vehicle was originally put into service or first registered. They just essentially give you 1 extra year and 40 more thousand miles, whichever comes first for the powertrain. But it was awesome. I'm like, that's a great deal. So he sends me all this stuff, and then I get a call, and there's 2 people. There's a sales guy and his sales manager. And he's like, congratulations, we got this truck locked in. We'll have it in your driveway. Welcome to the family, blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, this is a huge franchise here in Metro Detroit as far as the dealer network goes. Huge. I'm not going to call them out, but, if you listen closely, you're from this area, I think family deal kind of speaks for itself. And I can't say nothing bad about the dealership or the network or the franchise. That's just how they kind of worked out with this particular truck. So then I'm like, yeah, well, okay, let's do this. I get a call the next day because I'm like texting the sales guy, and I'm like, all right, let's get moving on the paperwork. And he goes, we got a problem. I can't find the truck. Let me look and figure out where the truck is. And I'm like, can't find the truck. It was like, do you guys sell it? That's what I initially thought, right? So then he calls me back that same day, and he goes, it's actually in service. It's in our repair facility at the shop, getting a new head gasket. That like threw a bunch of red flags there, and I'm like, what? It's 2023. It's basically 1 year old, 20,000 miles with service record, and it needs a head gasket. So I started Googling like Hemis, because this was a Hemi e-torque, and I didn't really see anything about head gasket issues. So he goes, don't you worry, we're going to fix it. I'm going to send you all the information over, and, we'll make it right. So I started asking questions. Well, I'm like, well, I need to know what the root cause. Okay, the head gasket is leaking, but was the antifreeze getting into the oil, or oil into the antifreeze, blah, 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 blah. He had no answers. He's a sales guy. About a week later, He sends me a text message of the printout, like a service printout that you get when you take your vehicle in for service, right? And I'm looking at it, and yeah, the VIN number is there, the year is there, and it says fluids, oil, antifreeze, intake manifold gasket, and only one head gasket replaced. No actual reason as to why, okay? And, to me, I know a little bit about cars. I'm like, why would you replace one head gasket? And did you check the head, right? Like, what caused it to fail, right? Nobody knew anything. And to me, right there and then, I was like, very cautious about purchasing this truck and dealing with, further issues, right? There's something that's going on. Like, I've seen vehicles that overheated completely and the head gaskets are still fine. So whatever the case is, I guess they replaced it. I had this paperwork, and I was still going to pull the trigger because it has full warranty, right? The next day, literally, I was like this close to just getting all the information out to him. I get a call, and it's the sales manager again, and he goes, Mike, we have fixed the truck, but I'm going to tell you that we're going to have to charge you basically $5,500 more because of all the repairs that we did to the vehicle. And he probably thought I was some kind of a dumbass. I go, wait a minute. Yes, okay, let's say you replaced the head gasket, whatever else you did, but you didn't pay for anything. Stellantis did. It's a warranty work. It's like me or you going to any dealership, any brand, right? And if it's still under warranty, they'll replace whatever needs to be replaced. The dealership doesn't pay for it. The dealership actually makes some money off that. That's how dealerships make most of their money, is not from selling vehicles, but from repairing and selling parts. Blew my mind. I actually told the sales manager just that. I'm like, what are you telling me? But here's, I think, where the problem lies. Whoever listed that truck for $32,500, I think screwed up, like big time, right? Because like I said, it was like way under the market value. So for them to relist it, which they did, when you called me back, that truck was back on a lot, relisted at like, what was it, $37,000 or something like that, 38, which falls right in line because of the year and the miles. And I told him, like, listen, man, I'm like, you made a commitment even through text messages that you would sell it to me for $32,500, not, $38,000 or whatever the case is. And he was just like, he was like caught, right? And, what is he going to say? They paid, for the repairs out of pocket? Bullshit. So he said, yes, okay, I'll sell it to you for $32,500. And then they started blowing up my phone. You need to come down here in person. You need to do this. You need to do that. There's another dealership that wants to buy it, or somebody else wants to buy it. So like, they're trying to basically see if they can squeeze some money out of me. And that's when I just ended the deal. I said, you know what, guys, sell it to whoever you want to sell it to. And for sure, that service that they did was either bullshit, because they never updated on the Carfax, and I think they were just trying to pull a fast one and get more money for the truck because they realized that, they underpriced the truck. So from there, I went and got this beast. So 2024 F-150. This is the Super Crew, essentially a crew cab, four-wheel drive. This is the blackout package or whatever it is with a power boost. Now, power boost is a 3.5, essentially Eco Twin Turbo, but it has a battery, has an electric motor, so it's a hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid. It is a regen hybrid, so it uses the engine and the brakes to recharge the battery. And I've been driving it now for two weeks. So first thing is first, let's look at the numbers. 430 horsepower, very, 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 very good. 570 foot-pounds of torque. Awesome. Can tow over 13,000 pounds when properly equipped, like this one. Awesome. And it's a hybrid. So they call for 24, 25 miles per gallon. I've been getting right around 24, and like I'm the perfect example of what you actually get, because my driving is 50 highway, 50 main roads, right? So surface roads, or we call them mile roads here. 30 mile, 40, 45 mile an hour, right? So I get a mix every day. Basically 60 miles a day. 30 is spent on a highway, 30 is spent on the surface roads. So what that works out to is about 25% of the time this truck is driving on full electric, no engine, right? And the reason I know that is because every time you either shut off the truck or you go to your trip, it shows you the total amount of miles traveled. And then it also shows you basically gas miles and then electric miles. And every time it works out to about 20 to 25%, which is awesome for a full-size truck to get that kind of MPG and to have that the horsepower and the torque. I think that's a win-win. Now, one of the things that I truly like about the F-150s, just like the Expedition, they come with a lot of good options. Power seats. If you look at similar trucks from other brands, you'll have a driver seat that's powered and the passenger seat will be manual, both power seats. Auto dimming mirror, stuff like that. This one does have the locking rear diff as well, rear axle. This has like the Tremor wheels on it, black headlights, basically like a blacked out look on white. I think it looks awesome with the black wheels as well. The only thing that I've done to this truck is I tinted the windows, the front windows. That's just my personal take, how I like my cars and trucks. And then I ended up getting a cover from the dealership, and these trucks now do come with step bars, which is awesome. So basically, the cover I got for free. They threw that into the deal. Nothing is free, I know, but got that. So like I said, window tint was the only thing that I did to it. And 360 camera, so you have your backup camera, you have the cameras in the front of the vehicle, back of the vehicle, in the mirror, so you have that overhead top view or bird's eye view. Awesome. You have front parking sensors, rear parking sensors, you have blind spot, lane keep, you have Blue Cruise autonomous driving. I tried it out a couple of times. I mean, it's not for everyday driving, but I guarantee you, like on longer trips, I think it's awesome because I did try it and it works like a freaking dream. It's doing everything. As long as you're paying attention, there's two cameras looking at you. As long as you're looking straight, but you can definitely just sit back, relax, and it just does everything for you, including shift to shift lanes or switch lanes. You just turn signal on, it does all of its checks and switches over. Pretty freaking badass. It's just, a lot of creature comforts that you normally don't see on similar trucks. And, for me, my personal vehicles, I hate sunroofs. For example, the Expedition has a panoramic sunroof. It's always closed, especially in the summer. It gets so freaking hot. I don't like sunroofs, and I freaking hate leather seats. The Expedition has leather, whatever, that's fine, heated, ventilated, but I hate leather seats. I've always hated leather seats. I don't know why. That's just my personal take. Literally, the only two options the truck doesn't have is a sunroof and leather. And I could have very easily purchased a sport version of this, or FX4 basically, and got those two options. I didn't want them. But as far as the rest of the stuff, it has it. It has every single package. I like the Tremor wheels on it. I like the overall stance of the truck and the look of the truck. It's very, very nice. And we'll just take a look at it and kind of show you guys what I got. So power boost, obviously on the side, that's the hybrid. Step bars, the black wheels look awesome. The black inlays look awesome. Obviously tinted windows, camera right there, obviously in the mirrors. The front end actually looks pretty sick, all blacked out. White Ford. We used to call them blue ovals, right? Well, now I guess it's a white black oval. Tow hooks. Camera in the front, 4x4, that's the cover, that's the back of the truck here. It's freaking amazing. I love it. I love this truck. It drives like a car. And I'm gonna open it here. Of course, keyless entry too. It's like keyless, like keypad entry is also awesome. But yeah, this is the truck. Big screens, all digital. Now I have 1,800 miles on it. So like I said, I can definitely do a review. It does have center console shifter that folds in like that, which is for this little table or whatever that comes out, or a little workbench. Every single option, like I said, guys, except leather and the sunroof. These are upgraded seats as well. Yeah, I love this truck. Plenty of room in the back. This is, like I said, the Super Crew. And I'll probably do a couple more updates as far as MPGs and possibly when I tow. But I mean, this thing is a beast. It has a lot of torque. You feel the torque right away. The Expedition has 440. That's the black edition or whatever hell they call it. So that one has like 440 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque, I believe. And that thing scoots. You put it in sport mode, and that thing moves. That big ass full body Expedition actually is pretty damn quick for what it is. These trucks here, I actually looked at some videos, and they're like 5.2 seconds, 0 to 60. That's pretty respectful for, you know, like a full-size truck. But I'm not racing this truck. I don't really care about it. You know what I mean? As far as like how fast it is, it's all about power when you need it with pickup trucks, either towing or just, you know, merging or whatever, right? But yeah, it's an awesome truck. I'm so happy that I ended up getting the Ford. This one here is going to stay for a long time. I'm not looking to get another one. This is the current, basically, generation of the F-150. And I love the fact that it's hybrid, not a plug-in, right? I never thought I would get a hybrid, but when I read different articles, different videos, different reviews, people said this is like the best of both worlds when it comes to power, torque, MPGs. And MPGs for me is huge. I want truck, I need a truck, but to get 24, 25 miles to a gallon is like insane for a full-size pickup truck. All right, talk to you guys later. The next video will be the golf cart. I'm actually finishing up some of the edits on that as well. And then we'll do a C6 video and figure out what the hell did I do? Why did I get rid of it? Talk to you guys later.